Sometimes rivalries are born beyond basketball, ones deep-seated in the DNA of individuals. That's what faces the Suns and Cavs today. Two teams that have traveled different paths, but driven by a common goal. It's highlighted by the focus of two men, legends in the mortgage industry, but driven for the same success in the association. Two men whose teams have faced off on the court, and whose companies have faced off in court. Matt Ishbia, the young gun that took the title of Mortgage King. Dan Gilbert, the grizzled vet who has the NBA title, but the second place trophy when it comes to his everyday business. Ishbia, the owner willing to do whatever it takes. Gilbert, the man who refused to vote for Ishbia to become an owner. It's a battle for the ages. Two men, two teams, one game, one winner. It's the Mortgage Beef Bowl, and it's next. What is up, everybody? Is the PHNX Suns pregame show live from Studio K, presented by Circle K. As our friend Johnny Venerable says, join the Inner Circle for free by downloading the Circle K app today. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. And thank you to our friends at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Today is brought to you by them. You do you at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit play@Gila.com for more details. I'm Espo. That is Steven. And it is Mortgage Beef Bowl 2. It's Suns. It's Cavs. It's in Phoenix tonight. And Steven, it's going to be kind of difficult because we found out just recently that there is another name on the injury report tonight.
Difficult, honestly, it would be an understatement, but yeah, they got their work cut out for them tonight for sure.
Let's take a look at that injury report. If we can. Right now, Grayson Allen questionable with a left foot strain. Bradley Beal out. Mason Plumlee out with a left quad strain. And we found out just moments ago from Amanda Pflugrad, the sideline reporter for the Phoenix Suns, that Nick Richards is out with a right calf strain. He warmed up. He dunked a basketball to end his warm-up, came down, and proceeded directly to the locker room with that right calf tightness. So basically, you got Oso Ighodaro, who's getting the call to be the, I assume, starting center tonight and play some major minutes. He's been averaging a little over 20 the last 5 games, but a big opportunity for him.
Yeah, it continues to be big opportunity after big opportunity from, obviously, with the absence of Mason Plumlee for the last couple of games, in addition to him deciding to not finish full games because of the getting ejected and things like that. But yeah, plenty of opportunity. I think this is a perfect team for them to test the reps that they've built up the last 4 games now with switching at a higher volume, increasing that switch rate. And I think this is going to be an opportunity for them to learn as much as any other game that they've won or lost in these last 4 games.
Yeah, I mean, you look at two teams heading in opposite directions over the last handful of games. Cavs have lost 3 in a row. The Suns have won 2 and have looked better. There has been some energy for the Suns in the 2 victories this week. Obviously, Toronto, not the greatest of opponents.
Right.
Neither, no offense to the Bulls and our friends at CHGO, but not the greatest opponent either. So 2 wins that you kind of take with a grain of salt.
You definitely take it with a grain of salt, but for them, it's just, are they doing the right things? Are they building the right habits? And that answer is yes, and I think the wins align directly with them moving in that right direction.
Yeah, and when you look at it, what things that they've done over the last 4 or 5 games do you look at that will play a part in being able to compete with a Cavs team who, despite losing 3 in a row, is one of the best in the East and has a 56-13 record. I mean, this is a team that people expect to be in contention well into the Eastern Conference playoffs and maybe into those finals. So what have the Suns been able to do recently that should help them tonight?
It's, for one, Mike Budenholzer playing more of the players that can guard for him. Colin Gillespie, Ryan Dunn, Cody Martin in particular, and then in the front court more than anything else, also Iguodala, being able to give them a change of pace, not just always playing in reaction to opponents, but being able to dictate by switching and funneling players in certain pockets of the court. Different little things like that I feel like has unlocked opportunities for them to play much more off of their defense rather than always having to be in the half-court offense and the arduous task of going against a set defense. So that's something that they have to break up the mundaneness with in this game in particular, because this is also a team that's top 5 in defense. And I think they're second or third on the season now, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, and they're top in points per game in the NBA. They're a team that, is very good at shooting a three, which we know the Suns have struggled at times with defending that three. This is a tough matchup, even if they had all their centers. Yep. It obviously becomes that much more difficult. But for me, this is a litmus test, right? We've seen them against bad teams finally turn it around. Do we see that team that comes off as connected, that plays with energy, that shows that heart and that hustle that they had been missing, that they finally kind of found over the last few games? And can they set that tone early with that? Because it's a home game. I mean, they got destroyed in Cleveland 118-92 earlier this year, and it was one of the more listless games that they've had. But I think they got to come out and set that tone early with that energy.
Yeah, they have to, because especially being undermanned, the Cavaliers have lost their last 3 games, like you mentioned. They're looking to start to get back on the right track on this road trip, trying to reestablish the habits that got them 3 double-digit winning streaks over the course of this season. One of the clearest indicators of a contender on a season-by-season basis. They're going to be looking to get back and get right, and you have to be able to take their first punch and second punch and be able to respond with punches and jabs of your own to kind of counter that. And I think that's a good reason why having also being able to play the amount of minutes that he will have to tonight might potentially be able to sway things in a way that it might not have if the Suns played the Cavs 2 or 3 weeks ago.
I mean, how much Oso obviously has some ability to switch. You'll probably play some Kevin Durant at the 5 tonight as well. The Cavs are one of the better switching teams on defense, but do you think that the Suns will be able to compete a little bit on that? I know you talked about that they've been better at that, but will they be able to do that and find a way to cut down on these Cavs threes defensively? I
think so, if we're comparing it to the last time they played. Because
well, anything would be better than the last time they played.
Sure. But I think also they're in a different space on defense than they were at that time. I think that was their second game after getting Nick Richards. Yeah. He was still getting himself acclimated. And there was some snag moments where he wasn't where he was supposed to be defensively for them. I don't think they'll run into those same game plan issues in this one, and that's why I feel like they have a slightly better chance. I'm definitely not picking them per se, especially with Richards out and also the only center in the rotation. But I think they're in a better space defensively, not just with the front court, but with the guards. Also playing more guards that can guard or wings that can guard. That lends themselves to being a little bit more successful and just getting up solid contests.
Let's take a look at Stevens' keys to the game for tonight. You've got 3 here as usual. What are they, and how can the Suns fulfill them tonight?
Yeah, the unfortunate last-minute news of Richards being out shifts things for sure. But the first one I'll be looking at is the sharpness defensively and crashing the glass. In the events that you're able to get stops, you have to keep this Cavaliers team from getting up more than 2 or more than 1 shot on goal per possession. Keep them to that, and then allow for the stops that you do compile to play to your offense. Playing transition, playing flow, that's where they've been at their best over the last couple of games, and the offense has started to peak out largely because of that. Number 2 flows in with number 1. Talked about the flow and the tempo, play off of your defense, break up going against their half-court defense as often as most teams have. That's an avenue and an outlet to beating this team. That's the way that the last 3 teams that they've played have found ways to beat them. And then the last one, neutralize the 3-point line. You talked about how prolific the Cavaliers are in volume and makes and percentage. The Suns can be that themselves. They need to get that portion of their offense while also taking away as much of that from the Cavaliers as they can. Last 3 games, the Cavaliers have lost the 3-point margin on volume and percentage, and they've lost those games. That's one of the only outlets that this Suns team has without basically any center outside of Oso in this one.
So when you look at the three keys, like which do you think is something that they can actually pull off? I know this is what they have to do to get the win, but when you're looking at them, what do you think are realistically the ones that they can make happen tonight?
And watching the last couple of Cavs games, I think it's 2 and 3. One is going to be hard, especially without most of your center group. But 2 and 3, you can play with flow, you can play with tempo, and you can defend the three-point line. Switching allows for you to cover the three-point line more impactfully than any other reactionary defense that they have been running for a majority of the season.
By the way, we realized that the Cavs logo looked a little funny on there. Blame the intern, and then Steven said, hey, I want to feel a little closer to home, so can you leave the Bulls logo on there for me tonight? But I agree with you. I think those are exactly what the Suns are going to need to do to get a realistic shot tonight. Starting lineup did just get a drop by the Suns. Oso Ighodaro will move in to that center spot tonight. Colin Gillespie, Devin Booker, Ryan Dunn, and Kevin Durant will be the other 4 starters. Been a little while since I've done a pregame show with you, Steven, and the fact that Colin Gillespie is now the starting point guard for the Phoenix Suns is certainly a bit of a different thing than what I was used to. And obviously Bradley Beal being out makes it a necessity, but this team's starting to find a rhythm. I find it a little interesting though, that since he's a two-way guy, he's not eligible for any postseason play. So kind of wonder how long does he stay in that rotation? And if he is a key to that, do they have to sneak him on the roster by letting somebody else go?
Yeah, they'll have to make a move if they are to actually make the playoffs. I don't think they go into that scenario without Colin. He's put in the work. He's built up the trust, and he's showing that he's an integral piece in his role in particular. So they need him, and I don't think that's something that any of us would have said if we were looking at the roster preseason or even at the All-Star break, quite honestly. But he's carved out a niche. It's valuable for the team, and he's going to continue to play an integral role.
Well, let's take a look at our picks for tonight's game and the score predictions that we have. These might have shifted a little bit in some people's minds since we, since we made these picks with Richards being out. But Steven, you had the Suns by 3. Have you shifted with Nick Richards being out tonight?
Yes, I would put the Cavaliers by probably 6 points. I'll say Cavs by 6.
Okay, that makes sense. Gerald said Cavs by 8 before the injury. Eric, who is still on his 24-hour stream hangover, had the Suns by 1. I said Suns by beef. I think that they've just got to tap into the ownership's hatred of the Cavs ownership and find a way to dig deep and get a win tonight. I'm not overly optimistic, but why the hell not? Let's say that they'll get the win here for that. Let's take a look at what our friends at Bet365 have for the line tonight in terms of the game. They have the Suns an 8.5 point underdog. When we made this, I'm guessing it'll be slightly more as the Nick Richards news takes hold. They're plus 275 on the money line. You can take the Cavs money line at a minus 350. I think that the Suns, I'd love to think that Oso can come in and have his best game of his young career and be able to make a large impact, and that Durant and those non-Oso minutes at center could change things up. I don't think so. I think that this is such a tall task for this team that, literally, that, this is probably a double-digit kind of game tonight.
It could be. And that's why I want to make sure that I preface it correctly, but no moral victories. You dug this hole. You put yourself in this situation to where the slightest of an injury really shifts everything for you, even if you are building up momentum in the right direction. So there's no excuses. They got to go out and get the job done. I just want to see them playing hard and doing the right things.
Yes.
They've been doing that for a sustained 3.5. I don't count the first half of the Lakers game. No. But they've been getting there a lot more often than they haven't in comparison to what preceded the last 4. So get to that portion and let's see about it.
Did the final few minutes of the game the other night against the Bulls, where they closed that gap, concern you at all going into this? Because my first thought was, here we go again. Is this a team that's losing focus when they have a lead. Now, do you think that was a sign of what might be to come, or do you expect them to come locked in?
I think they'll come out locked in. I wasn't really swayed by the end of that Bulls game as much. I feel like they let their foot off the gas some, especially after Devin Booker hit the fade-in three before the shot clock.
Yeah.
And then a couple minutes later, Ryan Dunn says, checkmate, and he goes and does the same thing. That felt like the dagger, what they felt at least, followed by a Bulls timeout. And then they came out of that timeout, and it wasn't the same energy. But no, I'm not worried about that part.
I'm looking at this, man, and they, to your point, they dug this hole. Right. And I really don't want the last two games to be false hope. Like, let me look straight in the camera and say this. I am ready to be hurt again. All right. I know I've been negative a lot of this season on this program and on Southwest Bias because I care. And I am ready to be hurt. I want this team to be what they have been the last two games. Every logical thing in my head says, no, they will not. It's false hope. But my heart goes, please be real. Please make this interesting. Please, 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 at least get to the play-in so we can pretend that there's something to kind of hold on to from what felt like a completely lost season. But I feel like the bottom's about to fall out tonight.
If ever there were a game where that was going to happen, this would be the one, the injury adversity, the team that's in the contending realm, in the championship contending realm, having underwhelmed the last three games. It's like a perfect storm for that to happen. But this season has not made a lot of sense in multiple capacities. No. So I can see ways in which the Suns put up crazy fight, lose this game by 2, going back and forth with the Cavaliers down the home stretch with only one center on the roster, and things just continue to not make that much sense.
I don't know. I'm down so bad, Steven, that today I turned to Chat GPT. I was like, hey, Chat GPT, what will the Suns finish the rest of the season? Because I'm like, I need some hope, right? Yeah. I need you to give me something. And they told me, okay, they're going to win tonight. All right.
Wow.
They said the Cavs struggle on the road. Suns need this to push for the play-in. And then they predict that they're going to go 5-7 in the final 12, which seems realistic, but then it tells me they're going to make the play-in spot. So artificial intelligence is saying, hey, have a little hope here. And I'm going, I don't trust artificial intelligence. But then again, I don't trust my natural intelligence either, because I thought this was a championship roster. So what the hell do I know? Hopefully the computers are right.
You talked to a sports therapist a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to need you to have that phone number in your call log, maybe even on emergency, because you feel like you are in flux right now, and it's completely understandable, 1,000%. I care about you.
Steven, I'm down bad, all right? I'm down so bad this season. I'm calling therapists. I'm talking to Chat GPT like it's going to tell me that everything's all right, like they're going to win the title. I'm looking in the chat what you guys are doing post game, hoping somebody's got some copium for me. Something I can hold on to. You know where else I'm down bad?
On the bets.
Our bets. I'm down way bad. Let's take a look at what I got for tonight in my bet this evening. Pregame picks brought to you by our friends at Bet365. Download the Bet365 app and use that promo code PHNX365 when you sign up. Find out why, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 over. Physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342 or visit problemgambling.az.gov. And yes, I have problem gambling. It's called problem finding a win. And tonight I'm down like $380. Tonight I'm hoping I can make 85 back. I have Devin Booker 25 plus points. I have Kevin Durant at 25 plus points. And I said, you know what? I'm going to just bet against my own logic tonight. I'm going Suns money line for a plus 850 this evening. Why don't we take a look at Eric's bet? I think he's in the lead. I try to ignore it because it's Eric. So he has Jared Allen double. I think we can write that down as a yes. Devin Booker 10.5 assists, over 10.5 assists and rebounds, and Ryan Dunn over 1.5 steals and blocks. I think this is very much in the realm of possibility of plus 975, which sucks because that means we'll never hear the end of it from White Noise. Eric Ruby, what do you got tonight? I know yours changed with Nick Richards being out, so why don't you kind of run us through it and let us know what changed?
Yeah, so this was my original bet, and I felt fairly confident about it. As we saw the news come out on the injury report, I shifted to both teams scoring 110 points or more in this game. Devin Booker with 5 or more assists. Max Strus with 2 or more threes made. Devin Booker over 34.5 points. And Sam Merrill over 2 makes from deep.
Is that Leah's brother?
No.
Okay.
No. All for plus 2,200, so my eyes went down some. And look forward to making some money on that one tonight.
I hope you do. I'm rooting for you because I've waved the white flag. All right. I'm done. I mean, I'm at minus 408.47. Like, that looks like my actual checking account right now. All right. Eric Ruby at a plus 339. Yeah. Whatever, new guy. And Steven at a 235, minus 235.08. You'll be closer to the green. Please win this. I will happily hand you the championship belt, but if I have to transfer that to Eric, I'm gonna have a problem.
If you have to transfer it to Eric, you can say you lost it. I'll back you up. I got you.
So those are our picks. Make sure to head over to the Bet365 app. Use that promo code PHNX365 when you sign up and make some of your own picks tonight. Hopefully, you're better than me. Final thoughts on the matchup tonight, Stephen. What is it going to take for the Suns to pull this upset in your final estimation?
Have to be sharp. Have to be sharp across the board. Cavaliers, like we talked about last time around, will run as much zone as any team in the league, have arguably the best on points per possession allowed. So you have to be ready for all the different looks they can throw at you, whether they're in the starting units or reserve units. And then the other side of the ball for the Suns on offense, other side for defense. Continue to be sharp with your switching. Trust the process. They said they've added layers. I'm looking forward to seeing what those new layers look like against a more than formidable opponent, an elite level offense. And the help defense has to be good because the Cavaliers are one of the best offenses at moving and carving out space for their primary ball handlers to create.
Look, I will take a moral victory tonight if that's all you got for me, all right? You're down to no centers. I respect that. I mean, arguably, that was where you were at the beginning of the season, too. But, just show me it. Make me believe that you can actually take this gauntlet that you got left in these last 12 games and actually make something of it. Don't lose the spark that you've had. Don't lose what has appeared to be energy again and a willingness to fight hard. Show me that against this Cavs team tonight. And even if you have a loss, maybe I'll feel a monicum, just a small bit of hope. All right.
Have some fun.
It's like the sports psychologist told me, you know what hope stands for?
What's that?
Hold on, pain ends. All right. And that's what I hope, that this pain ends soon. I got to pull back the curtain a little bit. Big thank you to our interns today who helped us set everything up because we're down bad when it comes to producers.
We're just like the Suns at center right now.
We are. Like we had our rookies, the interns putting together all the graphics, thus the Bulls logo. No shade to the interns. It happens sometimes, but a big thanks behind the scenes as well to our ALLCITY overlord, Allie, who's stepping in to produce today as well. We appreciate each and every one of you. I want to take a look at the super chats before we get out of here because you guys spending your hard-earned money deserve to be recognized as well. Teddy said Richards is out. Game over. Might have been game over even with him. Who knows? And then I believe we have one more as well. Allie, if you don't mind, let's take a look at that. BCom says it's see clearly. It's been so long I can't even say his name right. BCom see clearly says Cutesy Legs is mad that Espo is my father now. Do you want to explain the Cutesy Leg thing? Was this Noah just mad at you?
I cannot. I believe it came from BCom.
Did it? All right.
Just from a post game. Maybe 2 or 3 games ago, and the chat has been running with it. I have not agreed with it. I have not participated in it, but naturally, Eric and your boy Noah have leaned into it as much as they possibly can. So.
I'm just gonna say this. I don't know if I can as the boss around here, and with ALLCITY literally listening in, this may be my last program. But you do wear the shorts on the show. So you must be proud of the legs at least a little bit, but I won't call you the nickname. All right.
I appreciate that.
All right. HR has been called, so I may or may not be here for post game. He is Steven. You can follow him at StevenPG3. I am Espo. You can follow me at Espo. Follow the show at PHNX_Suns. And we will be back, rain or shine, blowout or win, whatever it may be. We will be back here for post game. Ahoy, hoy.
We all silly like the mayor.